All right, so we're finally in the book of Judges. And so this weekend, we're going to be diving into the first couple chapters, and we're going to get to see how Israel goes from living a life for God, triumphal glory. And we see them in the last couple chapters of Joshua, how they are able to conquest basically any enemy that comes their way, to a life of just disobedience and laziness. And so that is what we're going to be diving into this weekend. They had started off so strong. The Israelites had sought out God's direction and plan everywhere they went, and so they were able to conquer just about every enemy that came towards them. But it's not about just how you start. We are called to have continued faith, regardless of what comes our way or how long it takes to do what God has called us to do. See, faith and obedience was not just necessary in order to conquer the land and defeat the enemies that they came across, but it was also just as necessary in order to live in the land that God had promised them and to defend it. But instead, in that very first chapter, we're going to see how Israel does not listen to God 8 different times. See, rather than believing in God and pushing the enemies out of the land that God had promised them, they instead let the enemies remain in the land. And that was complete disobedience to what God had called them to do. See, this weekend, as we go through the first 3 chapters, it's going to be easy to look down at the Israelites for the decisions that they decide to make. But instead of doing that, I want you guys to ask yourselves a question. And I want you guys to start asking that question now. How prone are you, or even me, to resting in one single act of faith or obedience? How often do you obey halfway? Because that is what we're going to see in this first chapter and the chapters that follow. Maybe you are believing and obeying God, but just not fully. What areas of your life are you halfway trusting Him? This is the question that I want you to think on and reflect on this week. And I also want to challenge you to take some time and read the first 3 chapters of Judges and be ready for our discussion Sunday morning. I hope you have a great week. I'll see you Sunday.